Or Rachel Gutierrez. Ms. Gutierrez, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you now.
On February 20.
Well, let's pause.
Let's pause for a second. Not only did Miss Gutierrez admit to drinking and smoking a blunt while driving, but she also confessed to heading in the opposite direction of her home. That's a legal cocktail for probable cause, if I've ever seen one.
At approximately 3 o'clock in the morning, the officer observed a vehicle fail to signal lane changes twice and disregard traffic control devices, changing lanes over solid white lane markers, and then return to the lane it was already in. The temporary tag that the defendant had on her vehicle was expired as of January 17, 2025, and was voided. The officer continued to follow the vehicle, and the vehicle repeatedly failed to drive in a single lane despite another vehicle in front of it. The vehicle was also clocked traveling 60 miles per hour in a 50-mile-per-hour zone. A traffic stop was initiated. The officer made contact with the defendant driver, and she was identified by Texas driver's license. The officer observed red, glassy eyes and the odor of alcohol emitting from the defendant's person. The officer also observed the odor of marijuana emitting from the vehicle. The defendant admitted to consuming 2 beers and admitted to smoking a blunt while driving until the officer pulled her over. The defendant stated she was headed north, and she stated she was headed home, but her home was in the opposite direction as she was traveling. SFSTs were conducted. 4 out of 6 clues observed on the HTN, 4 out of 8 clues observed on the walk-in turn, 2 out of 4 clues observed on the one-leg stand. The defendant consented to provide a blood specimen.
Okay. Any prior DWIs? And
no prior DWIs, and her driver's license is eligible.
Okay. Ms. Gutierrez, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming either, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds.
Okay.
Do you understand? Ma'am, do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, or would you like to apply for a court-appointed lawyer?
Apply.
Okay. Deputy Miranda is going to give you an application. I'll have you fill out an application or sign a receipt. Victoria will get police you for your bond conditions, and then we'll take a look at your application.
Okay.
Please. All right. You are Marcus Leonard.
Yes.
Mr. Leonard, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. Just so you know, you're not here alone. Your lawyer is here with you, but on Zoom as opposed to being in person. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you, sir. Okay.
On February 21st, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, officers met with the complaining witness as a walk-up.
Wait, hold on a second. Do not talk. Okay.
Officers met with the complaining witness as a walk-up. Complaining witness stated that on February 19th, 2025, he and the defendant with his father stated that they were discussing who was stronger, and that they eventually felt disrespected by this. Complaining witness stated that the defendant then pushed him into a bathtub and then told the complaining witness to leave. And when the complaining witness was grabbing clothes, the defendant pinned the complaining witness and struck him in the eye, causing an orbital fracture.
So it's son. So I see that he's a prior assault. Same complaining witness?
The one from 2008?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. Have you ripped,
Yes.
or have you spoken to the complaining witness in this case?
Yes.
What is his wish?
No contact.
Okay. Did you hear that, Mr. Evans?
Yes, I know Mr. Leonard very well, 20 years. I'm very familiar with the situation, so I understand completely.
All right, so Mr. Leonard, I'm going to find that there is sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. It appears that a protective order has been issued on the 22nd of this month. I would get to know it. If you do something to violate this protective order, then the state can and probably will file a protective order. It's one of the worst cases you can pick up. Do you understand? I am also ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any contact or not to be in possession of weapons. If I find that you have contact with the complaining witness in this case, likewise, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Now, you've got a great lawyer. Because you have one, I will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court, but stay in touch with Mr. Evans. He'll tell you if and when you have to come back to court. So do you mind filing no contact in the weapons, please? So for now, I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. We will have you take a seat in the jury box while we get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it, and then after that, you'll be free to go. Do not leave until you sign our bond conditions, though.
Thank you, Judge.
Hold on, I need to get your date.
No, we already got it yesterday.
Oh, you
I
got
came
it?
by yesterday. I came by yesterday.
All right, have fun, man. Have a good
Okay,
weekend.
thank you, sir.
All right, Judge, next is page 8. McKelvey,
Your guy,
he hasn't been brought up yet.
still no. Do you think we'll get him?
Maybe,
Are you, can you be here if we don't get him today, can you be here Monday?
Yes, and I think that's what we're anticipating on doing. I talked with the chief, talked with the coroner. I think the plan will be to roll into Monday.
Okay.
and find out. This, you may recall, this is the issue. This had the competency questions. The gentleman who we did competency order, he'd been sent out of state to Louisiana. We did get that back. It had some issues and he was on a 90-day mental health PTI. So there are some questions and I need to see what state he's in, so.
And I just have some concerns now about.
Obviously, because it's number 4.
And if he's not going to be accepting DDRP, I mean, I think it's leaving us with very little options here. And I just can't do conscious.
So you want DDRP?
Well,
I don't think DDRP is acceptable.
What do you think?
well, we did a TRAS before in order to see about that. The
Did they-
TRAS, during the TRAS, they said, well, he's hearing voices, so we can't really continue the TRAS. And then their recommendation was we can't accept him in our DDRP because there's been a history of aggressiveness with the staff. And so we tried to go that route and just didn't find any available kind of resources. And so that's where we thought, well, maybe the best resource is a mental health PTI. And that's where things were at until, at least to my knowledge, until I got that email.
Okay,
So,
I guess we'll roll it to Monday, we'll figure out.
yes.
I'll look at it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Brent. You are Miss McKelvey.
Yes, sir.
Ms. McKelvey, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You are facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
On February 21st, 2025, officers observed a black SUV traveling northbound on the Gulf Freeway at a high rate of speed at 98 miles per hour. The registration was expired as of February 2024. A traffic stop was conducted and the officer detected a strong stand. She consented to breath, which came back to a 0.139.135.
Can you prior DWIs? You are under NCRC, please.
Yes, Your Honor. There's no prior DWIs. There are a couple of theft convictions.
Right.
Um,
And license, please.
her license now.
Ms. McKelvey, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any illegal substances like marijuana, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you do not have a valid Texas driver license and a liability insurance, then you're not allowed to drive as well. That is also a bond condition of yours.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer? Or would you like to apply for a court-appointed lawyer?
I'm a hard one.
Okay. I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. You will get with Felicia for your bond conditions, and after that, you'll be free to go, ma'am.
Okay. Good
Are
morning.
you signing? This is Mr. Mendoza?
Yes, Judge. And we should have a attorney appearance on file.
Let's see. I got it. You are Mr. Mendoza. Sir, you're charged with 2 cases. You're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're also charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. On the DWI, you're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. On the gun case, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you, sir.
On February 23rd, 2025, officer observed the defendant failed to stop at a designated stopping point in Harris County, Texas. The defendant was driving and stopped after the white stop line at the intersection when the traffic light was red. The defendant almost crashed into another vehicle before stopping, so a traffic stop was initiated.
While the defendant was stopping, he ran into a chain link barrier that was blocking a private property. The defendant, the driver, was identified by his Texas driver's license and stated that he was coming from his sister's residence. The officer observed the defendant to have bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, and odor of an alcoholic beverage. The officer asked the defendant to exit the vehicle, and the officer observed him to be unsteady on his feet. The HGN was a 6 out of 6. The defendant was then detained. He advised that he had a handgun under the middle console. The SFSTs were conducted at the intoxication room, which was a 5 out of 8 on the walk and turn and a 2 out of 4 on the one leg stand. The DIC was read and consented to breath, which came back to a .150 and a .145.
Okay, any priority to be licensed? Does he have a license?
Your Honor. Yeah. And his driver's license is eligible.
Okay. Mr. Mendoza, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, your bond will be revoked. You will go into custody. No more PR bonds. Do you understand? Now you have a lawyer. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance, but it is your responsibility to stay in touch with them, and they'll tell you if and when you have to come back to court. For now, I'll have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. You'll get with Felicia for your bond conditions, and then you're free to go.
No weapons?
Yeah, I guess so. Right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
May I be
Thanks,
excused?
guys. Yes, ma'am. Mr. Rios, more. So you are charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. On February 20th, 2025, officers were dispatched regarding a DWI at the 14,700 block of Wallaceville Drive in Harris County, Texas. The officer observed the black Dodge Charger parked at an intersection when the light was green for motor vehicles to proceed forward. The officer utilized his horn to get the driver's attention, but did not get a response. He then made contact with the defendant, who was the driver and sole occupant, and observed the defendant to be asleep while the motor vehicle was operational at the time of the offense while his foot was on the brake. The officers were able to open the motor vehicle through the front passenger door to turn off the car and observed red bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, a strong odor of alcoholic beverage, and chunks of vomit on the defendant's shirt. The defendant denied consuming any alcoholic beverages and stated that he was coming home from work. The SFSTs were conducted. It was a 6 out of 6 on the HGN, a 3 out of 8 on the walking turn, and a 2 out of 4 on the one leg stand. The DIC was read and the defendant consented to breath. The results are a .140 and a .141. He was identified by his driver's license.
Got it. Any other priority to be licensed?
No prior DWIs and his license is eligible.
Got it. All right, Mr. Rios, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming any, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Now, because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance, but it is your responsibility to stay in touch with them, and they'll tell you when you have to come back to court. If they tell me they can't get a hold of you, you pick up a new case. If you're a danger to my community, I only have one place for you. Do you understand? Yes, sir. For now, I'll have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. We'll have you get with Felicia for your bond conditions, and after that, you're free to go.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You're Ms. Torres Rodriguez. Ma'am, you were charged with theft. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to be silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you there.
On Saturday, February 22nd, 2025, officers were dispatched to a theft call for service at the target at 22165 FM 529 in Harris County, Texas. The LPO advised that the defendant was observed on video placing items in her shopping cart. She then went to a different aisle and began placing those items in her purse. The defendant then exited the store past all points of sale with those unpaid items inside of her purse. The reportee then escorted the defendant back into the store and had the defendant empty the stolen merchandise from her purse. The total value of the item stolen was $469.92.
Got it. Okay, Ms. Torres, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to go to any target whatsoever for any reason. You understand? If I find that you go to a target or if you pick up a new case, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail, no more PR bonds. You understand? You mind filing that? No going to any target, please. Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, ma'am? Would you like to apply for a court-appointed lawyer? Or what would you like to do?
I can hear you.
Okay, I'll have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. I'm gonna have you take a seat in the jury box while we'll get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it, and after that, you'll be free to go. You are Erica Vasquez.
Yes. Hello, sir.
Ms. Vasquez, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
On February 23rd, 2025, officers were dispatched to the 23,900 block of FM 529 Road in reference to a major accident. The officer made contact with the paramedics who were providing care to the defendant and stated that the defendant required transport to the hospital due to complaints of pain and high blood sugar levels. The witness stated he observed the defendant still sitting behind the wheel of the vehicle when he pulled over to assist her after seeing the vehicle stuck in the ditch. The defendant stated she failed to maintain a single lane, which caused the vehicle to go off the roadway and enter a ditch filled with water. The defendant admitted to drinking 2 bottles of Smirnoff and was observed to have red glossy eyes and the odor of alcohol on her breath. The defendant was transported to the hospital. The officer observed an open 24-ounce twisted tea can, which was cold to the touch in the center console.
So drinking while driving?
Yes, Judge. SMSTs could not be conducted. The blood warrant was signed and executed.
Valid Texas license? Ms. Vasquez, I'm going to find that there's enough probable cause to go forward with your case. I am now taking away your privilege to drive. You are not allowed to drive for any reason. Do you understand? If I find that you do, I can have a contempt hearing. You can be facing an additional 6 months of jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. You will be signing an affidavit with me today promising me you're not going to drive. I don't care what your reason is. There's no justification you could give for getting in a car and driving. Do you understand?
He does have an eligible driver's license, Your Honor.
Did you catch that?
Catch that. The judge just hit Erica Vasquez with a full driving ban. And here's the kicker. It doesn't matter why she might need to drive. No excuses. That's what happens when your car ends up in a ditch with a cold, open, twisted tea-riding shotgun. This case is a Texas.
Any prior DWIs?
No prior DWI, Judge.
This is the affidavit that you're going to be signing with me. This is a court order that you promise you're not going to drive. Do you understand, Ms. Vasquez? I'm also ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, likewise, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, or would you like to apply for a court-appointed lawyer, ma'am?
I have a lawyer.
You already have a lawyer.
Yes.
You hired one, or are you going to
Yeah,
go?
I hired one already.
Oh, Judge, I guess it just signed on.
So what we'll do is we'll just have you take us, well, first now, I'm going to have you come up, swear to us that you're not going to drive, and we'll get you to Victoria, sign a reset. You will get with Fleischer for your bond conditions, and then we'll just have you wait for your lawyer and back. Okay?
Good morning, how are you?
Hey, what's new?
I have an off docket, is that okay?
No problem.
Okay. The cause number is 255-2517. This is for Brandon Brown.
Okay.
I am not his counsel on the misdemeanor case. I'm his counsel on the felony case. I was informed from misdemeanor counsel that we wanted to put him on the docket. He's on the docket Monday here because he didn't have a felony bond. And so,
We want to, no, I think that
right? Okay.
we wanted to,
Like figure out what was happening in felony.
no, and here, because he just picked up a new case. He's on bond for at least one case with us. So we're going to put it to speak about his bond situation. That's it.
Yeah, so I just came back from felony. I was appointed on Tuesday. He did not receive a bond that day because he was on a parole hold. And then that,
Parole hold now.
no, it was lifted that same day that I was appointed. We couldn't tell because, I don't know if you remember on Tuesday, like all the defense attorneys were kind of locked out of the internet and I couldn't check. So anyway, parole hold's lifted. And so on Monday, we put him on for Monday in felony to get a bond there and probably, hopefully resolve it that same day because the case is old.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's from 2023.
Right.
So just wanted to make misdemeanor aware,
Is that going to swallow this one up too, you think?
possibly, possibly.
Get the cost number?
Yes, yes.
Is there a global offer?
There is no global offer, Judge. So he's got the 3 misdemeanors here and the 1,
He has two.
He has 2.
He
But
has
PC.
2 evadings and a POM, from what
I
I.
got no PC, I think. Or is it still open? Did you guys know?
it was discharged, no PC. It's not dismissed yet, Judge.
It's not dismissed. Okay. So yes, technically, I mean, well, there's nothing that I can do with that. I mean, that's right.
Right.
So,
So just wanted to make the court aware. I don't know if y'all want to put him for Tuesday.
okay. I have to let Ms. Strong know too. I don't, are we expecting?
I emailed her.
Mr. Smart here?
I think he came up with just
Okay.
he's back there.
Okay. So I don't know, maybe we'll see her. But yeah, we'll put it on Tuesday. That's fine.
Okay. And then if we resolve it Monday, we resolve it Monday.
Okay, did you get the cost number?
I can.
No, we're talking about, I was just curious about Mr. Smart. Let me give you the cost number. You ready?
Okay,
It's 255-2517. And then there's 2 cases for you to move.
2517?
Yeah.
Okay, what are we doing?
Just on Tuesday, 3-4. Both cases, please. Okay?
That's all I have, Judge. It was good to see you.
You too?
I just put 2 bond petitions in here just now.
Okay. Mr. Butler, I was thinking Mr. Dixon for a second, but
Thanks. I have Mr. Flynn on the docket this morning for arraignments.
okay, you ready?
Yeah. Mr. Flynn?
Lynn. Oh, Finn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Finn, yeah. Good morning, Mr. Finn. Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
On February 22nd, 2025, at approximately 11:07 PM, an officer was dispatched to 59 Northeast Cross Timbers on City Street. The officer observed a vehicle run a red light, take the exit, swerving in and out of lane number 2 and cross 3 lanes of traffic, almost striking a guardrail. A traffic stop was initiated. The officer observed the driver to have bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, and the strong odor of alcohol upon his breath. The officer had the driver and the passenger exit the motor vehicle. The driver consented to SFSTs and the defendant performed them. 6 out of 6 clues were observed on the HGN. 5 out of 8 clues were observed on the walk-in turn. 3 out of 4 clues observed on the one-leg stand. The defendant was read the DIC and consented to provide a breath specimen. The results were 0.141 and 0.138. The defendant advised he had 1 drink while at a bar, and he was the owner of the vehicle, and he was identified by his Texas driver's license.
Any prior DWIs?
No prior DWI, Judge.
Valid license?
Valid license.
All right, Mr. Finn, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, your bond will be revoked. You will go into custody. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance, but it is your responsibility to stay in touch with them and they'll tell you if and when you have to come back to court. If they tell me they can't get a hold of you because you're ducking and dodging, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. Just keep my city safe. That's all I want. You understand?
Sir.
I'll have you sign a receipt with Victoria. We'll have you get with Fleischer for your bond conditions, and then you're free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor.
It's not a good morning. No. You are using my name on an occupational license and you're not in compliance with what you're supposed to be doing. It's unacceptable. If I find that it happens again, I'm going to yank it. I want to make sure that you're not using while my name is on the license. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I'm sending you now for a drug test. I want to make sure that you're not using, and then I don't know what I'm going to do. The first thing I want to send you for a drug test to make sure, and then we'll go from there. So we'll send you and then we'll have you come back.
Yes, sir.
This is who, Judge?
No, don't worry about it. I'll have,
Okay,
Victoria.
thank you.
Thank you.